Hello, this is a quick look at Genesis Now. This is our sign-in page. Genesis Now is web-based and mobile-friendly, allowing for easy access to your agency management system. When signing in, we are looking at a user dashboard. The whole idea with the dashboard is to give each person the ability to customize it based on their needs. We can move dashboard cards in whatever position that we would like. We can adjust the box size. We can also click on the title and rename them. The first card that I have on my dashboard is a suspense card. In Genesis Now, suspenses are your reminders. Clicking on the one in red for Mr. Scott, he is in red because we have him marked as critical. We can enter a suspense date. I can adjust the suspense note as needed. We can easily link a specific client and policy and also jump directly to either of those things by hitting the blue icons to the right. I can create suspenses just for myself, or we can loop in other receivers on our team. If we back up and look at the filters for the suspense card, we can adjust what we see within it. We can determine whose suspenses we're looking at. We can also look at things in a given urgency, stage, status, and date range. Next, we have Jmail. In Genesis Now, Jmail is your internal chat. The big takeaway here is that just like in a suspense, we can easily link a specific client and policy. We can also add a media file or document. Backing up to the dashboard, next we do have pending renewals. Pending renewals is designed to show us a snapshot of information around our policies that are coming up for renewal. From right here, we can see some key information, including a premium change, showing a red dollar value for an increase, green for a decrease in premium. If we look at the filters here, we can adjust what we see. I have mine currently showing all policy types, but I could have multiple pending renewal cards and break this out based on different policy types that I'd like to focus on. We can adjust the date range based on the expiration or effective date. We could have one card for personal lines, one for commercial lines. We can even determine exactly what columns we see in the card itself. Next, I have last viewed clients, simply showing a running list of the client profiles that I've accessed recently. We do also have a download card. All versions of Genesis Now do include carrier downloads at no extra cost. The last three cards that I have on my dashboard are a simple example of a sales pipeline. I have prospects, pending quote, and quotes. If we go in and look at the filters, once again, we can divide this out based on different policy types. I can specify policy owner. We can also set date ranges so things don't sit on this card forever. The plus icon shows all the different starting points that we have for our dashboard cards. Each user can have up to 100 of them, or we can have no cards. It's totally up to you. To look up a client, we have a name search up in the top right. We can search by the client name or by the business entity name. Next to that, we do also have an advanced search. So if you just have partial information, you can find who it belongs to. If we go all the way over to the left and expand the column, we can select clients, all clients. This will be the full client list for the agency. We can filter based on client status. We can also sort the column headers. We can search and also add a client from this screen. Looking at a client profile, up in the top left corner, we have a people card. We can add as many individuals to this as we would like. Below that, we can add a business entity. We can also generate proposals in Genesis Now. We will review a commercial example next. We can add multiple addresses to the client profile. And then below that, the policy card will show all the policies and quotes that they have with your agency. If it's someone with both personal and commercial lines, we can toggle between them by selecting the tabs up at the top. We can search for policies and also add a policy or quote by hitting the plus icon. Simply indicate the state and policy component. The center information card will list an office location, client status, source, and producer. From the client profile, we do have the option to text and email them. We can see that Genesis Now will bring in the contact information, allowing us to send things out with just a click of a button. We can bring in company contacts into this section as well. We can select a template for any repeated messaging. We can add a subject line, signature. Conveniently, all of the media files or documents that we have linked to this client profile will list over to the right, allowing us to easily attach these to any outgoing text message or email. You control the placement of all of the cards on the right side of the client profile. We can even move things over to the bottom center as I have with receipts and invoices. Jenesis Now Pro does come with two-way texting and emailing, allowing you to have an organized view of all sent and received messages with each client. Below that, we do have notes. Just like our suspenses, we can mark notes critical to where they stay in red and are at the top of our list. If we open up a note, you can see that we can access our suspenses within this section. We also have the same media file or document list that was available when sending a text message or an email out. The document and media file list is pulling from the media file section here. There is unlimited data storage with all versions of Jenesis Now. To open up a document, simply click on the link and it will open in a new tab. We give you three ways of pulling documents in. You can drag and drop. We can pull up our File Explorer and select the document. We can also connect Jenesis Now to a scanner and scan documents directly into this section. Jumping into a personal auto policy, the top section of the policy screen will have the same layout across all policy types. So we have policy number, carrier. We can jump to our agent login by hitting the icon next to it. We can add a parent company or broker. We can change the policy status or quote status. We can add a source, terms, dates, fees, payment schedules. Everything that you would expect to track will always be the same up in this top section. This being personal auto, we see personal auto coverage, vehicles, and drivers. We can open up vehicles and see that this is a VIN number lookup. We can pull in addresses from other screens for garaging locations, and we can add or edit the vehicle coverage.
The cards on the right side of the policy screen are for the most part the same cards that we saw at the client profile. The information in the card simply drills down and is now showing us things for this policy only. If we have a carrier download coming in for this policy, this screen and the policy status will update based on those downloads. Due to that happening, we do give you a policy version list, allowing you to access any point in the past. If we do not have a download coming in for this policy, we can manually renew it by hitting the icon at the bottom right.
Next, we'll look at a commercial example. As you can see, we do give you the option to have the business information show at the top of the client screen. We can also link profiles in the event that one individual is associated with several businesses. You can easily toggle back and forth. If we open up this general liability, everything in the top section is the same as what we saw with personal auto. Down below, we have GL coverage, GL listing locations, and additional insured. If I come up to the top and open the ACORD forms, we can see that it will pull in the client name that we're working with since we're accessing this from his profile. We can search for the ACORD form that we would like to use by the number or title. We do get a key indicating how much information that we'll pre-fill from Jenesis Now onto the ACORD. We'll select this 25. All active policies will list. We'll just choose all of them. You can see quite a bit will pre-fill. I can edit things from here if needed. If we scroll down, all of the certificate holders that I've used previously with this insured will appear. If it's something that I need to send out again, I can highlight them and hit generate form. I can easily email it out with the click of a button, or we can open up the document and do further editing as needed. We can also select everyone in this list and hit generate. We can still email things out with the click of a button or open up each form if needed. We can edit the description of operations around each certificate holder, and we can pull certificate holders in that are linked to other clients in our system. Let's check out some reports. So these are all the different base reports or starting points that we have. If we look at a policy detail report, we can see that these are possible columns over to the left. These are report columns as it stands currently. To build our report, we simply move things in or out, either by dragging and dropping or by hitting the arrows. We can shuffle the order that the report columns appear. We can also hit the arrows or bring things over from the far column and create filters around each piece of information. So we can bring in individual or multiple selections. We can create page breaks around those. We can group them. We can sort in ascending or descending order. We can also get sum totals. So if we come in and we run a report here, we can see that everything will present as a hyperlink. So if we click on this policy number, it will jump us to that policy in a new tab. We can email, we can export this report. Back on the previous screen, we can memorize it. So if we go in and we see these memorized reports, I can click on them and it already has the filters saved that I know that I want to work with. So I don't have to do the whole dance back and forth and build a report every time. Lastly, we have an automated marketing section that will send out email and text message campaigns in the background to help you with client retention and cross-selling. So we have birthday, new customer, cross-selling efforts for auto and home, annual review, renewal reminder, no Medicare, no health, upcoming payment and payment past due. These actually tie into a payment schedule that you can set up at the policy level, and then some cross-selling campaigns for the commercial world. How it works, the birthday campaign simply goes out on their birthday. All the others, you can go in and adjust how many days in advance the messaging goes out. We give you options for email, text, or both. Simply indicate what delivery method you choose. We do give you some base messaging, but you can come in and edit this to say anything that you would like. We can also insert smart fields, so it does address them personally. Once we determine our delivery methods, we just indicate the statuses of the individuals that we would like to receive the campaign. And that's how all of these work. The only exception to that is the single run campaign. This is designed for any one-off message that you would like to send out. So that could be, hey, our power's out, or hey, happy holidays. You do also have the option to come in here and adjust some filters. We can send things out to people with specific carriers. We can also send things out based on client and policy statuses and policy types. Thank you for your interest in Genesis. We look forward to hearing from you.